YTBC. This is your boy, Coach Shelton Harrison. And guys, finally, I wanted to talk about this fight, Errol Spence Jr. versus Chris Algieri. People, this is going to be a good fight. It's a good stepping stone fight for Errol Spence, okay? Errol Spence is definitely a young and up-and-coming star in the sport of boxing. I'm pretty excited about this fight against Algieri because Algieri is not a bum, it's not a pushover, and Algieri comes to fight every fight. A lot of people thought that Amir Khan would go in there and completely decimate Algieri. I was one of the people who thought that Khan would go in there and decimate Algieri, but Algieri backed Amir Khan up, okay, was catching Khan with some good shots, and I'd have to assume that maybe Algieri has gotten a little bit more, has gotten stronger, has gotten more pop in his punches. I mean, I don't know, but, I do have to give John David Jackson credit. I'm not a fan of his, but he had the perfect game plan against Amir Khan, And some can even argue and say Algieri probably, won the fight or it was a draw. I mean, I gave Khan the win by a very slim margin, okay? But John David Jackson had the perfect game plan. My question is, I wonder what the game plan is going to be for Errol Spence, because Chris Algieri is not going to be able to back Errol Spence up. He's just not going to do it. Errol Spence is too strong. And Errol Spence definitely probably is twice as strong as Amir Khan. Has to be much, much stronger than Amir Khan. So I can't see Algieri hitting Errol Spence hard enough to make him want to back up. Errol Spence ain't going to do it. Errol Spence is going to come straight ahead, and he's going to stalk Chris Algieri. He's going to walk Chris Algieri down. So I wonder what the game plan is going to be, because it can't be for Algieri to just stand in the pocket with Errol Spence, because that's going to result in Algieri probably getting knocked out. But, Algieri is a tough guy, man. He tough. I mean, he took Ruslan Provodnikov's best. I'm talking about Provodnikov is a freaking beast. And he took Provodnikov's best. I'm talking about took his best, still, stood in the gap, still got back up, man. He took the best from Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao knocked him down 6 times. I'm talking about Manny Pacquiao brutalized the hell out of Chris Algieri. And I'm talking about he beat him down. I'm talking about he beat Algieri. He didn't just beat Algieri, he beat Algieri the hell up, okay? Algieri still got up and finished the fight. So he's a tough cookie. Knocking Algieri out is not going to be an easy task, okay? Errol Spence this fight might go to cards. I don't know. It might go to distance. But Errol Spence, man, he's a tough guy, man. Algieri is going to have to bring a definite A game, man. I don't know what the plan is, but Errol Spence ain't going to run, okay? He's stronger, so if Algieri hits Errol Spence, man, it's pretty much, man, Errol Spence going to look at those punches, laugh, and keep walking forward. What does Errol Spence need to do, man? Errol Spence is going to have to work on cutting off the ring. He's going to have to be a mastermind in cutting the ring off, because Algieri has great foot movement. So he's going to have to cut that ring off, man. Corner Algieri so he can get his shots off, because Algieri isn't going to stand there and just let Errol Spence get his shots off. So he's going to have to corner this man with good foot movement, okay? And Errol Spence's foot movement is okay. I think his foot movement is above average, okay? Also, Errol Spence, he is going to have to be a student of the body. To stop Chris Algieri from trying to move around so much, he's going to have to work that body, man. But the one thing, though, that I think Errol Spence need to do and this is one flaw that I see in Errol Spence, when guys come in on the inside, he's a little bit more susceptible to getting caught, and I've seen him get caught before, man, when guys just kind of come in the inside on him real fast. He don't really have an answer. Errol Spence needs to really, truly work on, his uppercut. When they're coming in, making that move, man, Errol Spence needs to start throwing uppercuts. That's one thing that, I see with Errol Spence. But the other stuff that he does, man, his head movement is above average. I mean, he definitely pivots, very well. He stays on his toes. His lateral movement is very good. He can hit you from different angles. I mean, Errol Spence is pretty much almost a total package. What does Algieri need to do to win? Algieri needs to utilize his foot movement, because you're not going to trade shots with, Errol Spence. You're just not going to do it. Because if he stands and tries to trade, if he fights the same game plan that he fought against Amir Khan, Algieri might get knocked out for the first time. I'm sorry, that's just the way that is. Algieri is going to have to keep Errol Spence, man, on his toes the whole time moving. And Algieri is going to have to utilize a game plan where he is slipping punches into his body, man, and trying to, remove some of the power from Errol Spence. Algieri's going to have to do that. Also, too, Algieri, he's going to have to get good at tying up Errol Spence, man, because Errol Spence is going to try to throw 3 and 4 punch combinations, man. Algieri going to have to tie that joker up, man. I know people don't like that, but he going to have to, man, because the guy's strong. And so he's going to tie him up, man. See, trying to, evade all the punches, man, it's almost like he's going to fight a stronger version of Pacquiao. It's just, Pacquiao's a lot faster, but Errol Spence is going to throw a lot of punches. He's going to come forward. He's going to throw punches, and it's not going to stop for Algieri. Algieri's going to have to tie this dude up, man, and sometimes even initiate a clinch. He's going to have to and try to get him a couple of shots off in the inside and step back. See, that's where Errol Spence is vulnerable at. If Chris Algieri can get in the inside of Errol Spence and really start getting his shots off, then he's going to give Errol Spence, make him uncomfortable. And that's what he's going to have to do. See, Errol Spence would realistically have to take a step back to get his shots off. But if Chris Algieri if he smothers Errol Spence's offense, then Errol Spence is going to have a tougher time trying to get his shots off. But you guys tell me what you think. This is your boy, Coach Shelton Harrison. I'm done. Oh, and by the way, no, I'm not done. And Chris Algieri, at least Chris Algieri have the testicles to get in the ring with Errol Spence. When Errol Spence was calling out all these guys saying he wanted to get in the ring with all these guys, Showtime Sean Porter, he wanted to get in the ring with you, Keith Thurman, he wanted to get in the ring with you. But Chris Algieri, I got a lot of respect for Algieri. I got a lot of respect for Chris Algieri because this is a dangerous fight career-wise for Chris Algieri. It really is. Because, he suffered a loss, man. He suffered that loss against Pacquiao, suffered a loss against Khan. So this realistically could be his third loss in a row if he fights Algieri. If he fights Errol Spence. But at least Algieri has the guts to get in there with these tough guys. And I'm probably, later on this evening, I'm going to drop a video about Chris Algieri. And I'm going to probably just talk about his resume, man. Good grief, man. The guy not afraid to take a tough fight. But you guys tell me what you think. This is your boy, Coach Shelton Harrison. I'm done.